Hi, and welcome to Monday's Delight. Always excited to make a way into that beautiful space of yours and to share the mind of God with you every Monday on Monday's Delight. Thank God that we are almost at the end of the month of August. I can't wait for September. Great things will happen. But let's look at what August have for us ending. Now, remember, we've been looking at the month of divine promise fulfillment. But I want to ask you a question. What's Yahweh's promise to you, or what's God's promise to you? And that's what I want us to look at in this section. So we are doing Joshua chapter 23, the verse number 14, and I'll do the New Jerusalem Bible. Today, you see, I am going the way of all the earth. Acknowledge with all your heart and soul that of all the promises made to you by Yahweh, your God, not one has failed. All have been fulfilled, not one has failed. Of all the promises made by Yahweh, not one has failed. Not one has failed. But before we move into the big question, let me push some prophetic declarations over your life. Now, the first one, every prophetic promise of God for your life will be fulfilled. So far as it is a prophetic declaration from God, it will never backfire. It will be fulfilled. And I see this week being a fulfillment week for you in Jesus' mighty name. I declare that God's faithfulness will surround you all the days of your life. I declare that the faithfulness of God will surround you in all spheres. I declare. Now, I make a declaration that you will walk in the fullness of God's blessings. Kadi, Adabasai. You will walk in the fullness of God's blessings, and the blessings of God will never elude you. That is my declaration for you for the week. I love it. I love it. And I make a declaration also that none of Jehovah's promise over your life would not be fulfilled. All the promises and prophecies will be fulfilled in Jesus' name. But the big question that I think we ought to ponder on and think about is there a promise of God over your life? I want you to take a second and think about it. Has there been any prophetic declarations of God's promise over your life? If there is, then there is an assurance that they would all be fulfilled. But if there is not, then you need to seek that. And the big question would come with some answers, and that is the focus for today. That is the focus for today. So is there a promise of God for your life? And if there is, how do you activate it? If there is, how do you activate it? How do you activate the promise of God over your life? And that is the direction I want us to go. Because if you do not know, there is nothing for you to activate. If you do not get the revelation, there is nothing for you to activate. I pray that this word will bring illumination into your spirit, and you will begin to look for the promises of God over your life. And by doing the right things, they will be manifested. Now, the first thing of how to look for God's promises over your life, number one, is to comb through the scriptures. Read the scriptures. Don't let somebody read and come and give you revelation. Read the scriptures. Study God's word to know his promise. All the promises of God are embedded in his word. The promises of God are embedded in his word. When you read them, you would see them and personalize them, and it becomes yours. I pray that you would have what we take the wherewithal to comb through the word and to pick the prophecies of God for your life. Pray them into being, and it will happen in Jesus' mighty name. Now, the second point is to pray for clarity. Hey, this is very important. Ask God to reveal his plans and promises for you. You see, most at times, if you do not have clarity, you end up chasing everything. Hey. I pray that you will pray for clarity, and that things will be clear to you as you move into the word and you study the word. God will give you clarity, and you will begin to see the promises and the prophecies of God for your life. And as you pursue them in prayer, God will begin to unfold them unto you in Jesus' mighty name. Now, the last one, and which is very important. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart, because God will speak to you through your heart. That still small voice, you would hear it. And when you hear it in your heart, hey, then you should know that God is in the place for a promise to be fulfilled. I pray that God will give you all that it takes to comb through the word and pick his promises. I pray for clarity of mind, spirit, so that when you move into the word, God would come clear to you which ones are the promises and the prophecies for you. And I also declare that your heart will speak for you. Let it be that the month will be crowned with the goodness of God and the promises fulfilled. I love you, and I'll see you in the coming month, where we will look at what has for you also. God bless you. Enjoy your week.